I'm Sharon Jira, and I welcome you to another edition of Business Time right here on Times Television, proudly brought to you by Skyband. This is a magazine program in which we look at some of the major business stories happening in Malawi and beyond. Coming up in the program today, Icon breaks Malawi Stock Exchange listing drought. RBM chief says economy on right footing in 2019. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned.
How to access billing at skyband.mw. Go to skyband.mw and navigate to billing. Go to the Login tab and enter your username. Now enter your password. Click Login. Now you have access to your account information, invoices, and services. Skyband.
Property ownership firm Icon Properties on Monday broke Malawi Stock Exchange MSC 10-year listing drought when it registered on the Bourse. The listing of Icon has brought the number of listed firms on the market to 14. Soon after the listing on the market, Icon share prices surged by 37.14% from an IPO price of 8 kwacha 75 tambala to 12 kwacha. More in this report.
Seda Capital Chief Executive Officer Armstrong Company said the excitement generated by Icon listing shows that the market has enormous appetite for new companies.
I think there are a number of factors, but what's more important is that the market has been starved of listings. As you heard, over 10 years without a new listing on the market. So this is a good development, and I think the market is excited as a result of that. There's demand. Even with the shares that have traded at 12, there's still some bids left in the market at 12, which shows that the market is giving the company a vote of confidence.
Malawi Stock Exchange Chief Executive Officer said the listing of Icon will result in, among other things, increased operational efficiencies, efficient processes of raising capital, as well as improved governance.
The listing of Icon Properties on the Malawi Stock Exchange is quite historic and record-breaking in the history of the Malawi Stock Exchange. It is one of the biggest capital raising on the history of the Malawi Stock Exchange, where they have raised 14.7 billion. And you can remember that since 2008, when we last listed the TNM, we haven't had any listing on the Malawi Stock Exchange. So the coming in of Icon Properties on the Malawi Stock Exchange, it is something which we are celebrating, especially members of the general public, those are the investors in the capital markets, as well as the market players on the capital market, that we have added one among the families or among the members in the families of the Malawi Stock Exchange, whereby we had only 13 listed companies, with one bond, which means 14, but now coming in of Icon Properties, we have 14 on the equities and one bond and one corporate bond, which means we have 15 companies on the Malawi Stock Exchange. So to us is something which is a message of celebration that we have added another company. And we have also seen, especially just on the first day of listing of Icon Properties, that the stock price has gone up by almost 37%, whereby the listing price of 875, it has gone to 12 kwacha. That is something the investors ought to be celebrating, that on the first day, the company has already started experiencing capital growth as it has listed on the stock exchange.
Standard Bank Head of Corporate and Investment Banking, Frank Chantaya, whose company was a transactional advisor in the listing, said the process went on smoothly.
If you recall, we started this process pretty much over the first festive season. The legwork really was high around November and December. We worked very hard. People had to cancel their holidays, working during the night, odd hours during the weekend. And to get to this level where we've successfully listed the Icon Properties, and on the first day, on the first trade, the investors are already over 30% in the money. We are very proud as Standard Bank to be the very successful leaders to this transaction, and would encourage other potential investors, potential clients of ours, to follow the same route. All macroeconomic fundamentals are actually pointing in their favor. If you look at interest rates, they're going down. Inflation has just gone down to single digits, and that will also trigger a further drop in interest rates, making the stock exchange a very attractive investment horizon for our potential investors.
Icon Properties Director Visenge Kumwenda said the firm plans to invest the money in iconic properties such as hotels and office complexes.
This is a very important achievement from many angles. To start with, Icon Properties, which was up until now owned by 17 shareholders who were institutional shareholders. Today, after the listing, Icon Properties is now owned by over 1,000 shareholders. That include ordinary people on the street. So with this listing, ordinary Malawians have had the opportunity to invest in Icon Properties that owns prime properties across the country. These ordinary shareholders will be able to benefit from dividends and will also be able to benefit from increase or appreciation in the share price. So this is a big thing for them. Secondly, you may have heard during the presentations that this is the first IPO to take place after over a 10-year period. So the last IPO was done more than 10 years ago. So today, with this listing, it means Icon Properties has broken the drought that was there on IPOs. Thirdly, through the IPO today, Icon Properties has raised just over 14.7 billion, in fact 14.7 billion kwachas, which is close to $20 million, which is money that will be used for further infrastructure development. Those are just examples of the significance of this listing.
Icon Properties was incorporated in Malawi on June 4, 2018 and was converted into a public company on October 11. Icon has 35 properties valued at 50.04 billion kwacha. For Times in Blantyre, I'm Taonga Sabola.
Reserve Bank of Malawi Governor Dalitso Kabambe said the economy is starting 2019 on a better footing than in 2018. Kabambe said prospects are good and that the heavy clouds that affected the economy in 2018 are now behind us. He spoke to our reporter, Taonga Sabola.
2018 was a difficult year, and throughout the Monetary Policy Committee meetings that we had and the minutes we released and the press conferences we held, we were saying that in 2018, number one, we had a challenge of food availability. In 2017, we were coming from a bumper harvest, and prices of maize had really gone down to as much as 40 to 60 kwacha a kilogram. And because of the poor harvest we had in 2018, we knew that maize prices would be correcting themselves, and indeed they moved up from that 40 to 60 kwacha per kilo to as much as 137 kwacha per kilo as we are ending 2018. That's more than 3 times the price of maize that we had in 2017 vis-a-vis that we had in 2018. As a result of that, we saw food inflation more than doubling from around 4.1% at the trough to around 10.8% as at end November 2018. So we saw that as one of the challenges we had to deal with in 2018. In 2019, as we see the weather and its outlook out there, it would appear that we might have another rebound in agriculture, and with God's help, if the rains continues and that we have a good harvest, we may see maize prices coming back down in similar levels as those that appeared in 2017. So from a food inflation perspective alone, we can see food inflation trending downwards in 2018. Non-food inflation, there were 3 major risks and clouds that we saw in 2018. Number one, we knew that global market prices were going up. You recall that they were at around $40 to a barrel in 2017, and they jumped, in fact more than doubled, around $81 per barrel in 2018, as well as we saw that the program which had been agreed for electricity tariff adjustments was also going up that they needed about, is it 30% adjustment in 2018, of which 20% they had to do it as front-loaded in 2018, plus another tariff adjustment which took place at around 7.5% again on electricity. Water tariffs as well went up another 7.5% in 2018. So we had seen a lot of adjustments for administrative prices, for maize prices, global market prices correct themselves with the increases in the pump prices. So all those were really challenges that we saw in 20. This is why, although in monetary policy perspective, we are in an easing cycle, which we started in 2017 when it reduced the policy rate by about 800 basis points. We took a pause in 2018 because of these risks. We want to see the direction of the risks where they would take the country into. And indeed, I think we have been exonerated to a large extent. You see that non-food inflation has really remained within at around 9%. Despite all the adjustments in electricity tariffs, adjustments in pump prices, adjustments in water tariffs, we have seen that non-food, which is affected by these risks, almost remained at around 9%. And that's the power of monetary policy that was able to deal with non-food or inflationary pressures. So we managed to preempt all that pressure and managed to maintain the inflation, especially on food, in a single digit. With, again, the support from government that were able to release maize from the grain reserves, it also cushioned the general movement in food inflation. And as a combination of the two, we saw that the headline inflation only slipped in November to 10.1%, and it went back to 9.9% as we ended the year. Our projection as at January was that if we do a good monetary policy position, we may end with 9.3% inflation target for 2018. And as we have ended in 2018 with 9.2, almost close to our target, which we were playing against. In the medium term, we are looking at a deceleration to 5% by the first quarter of 2021, and we remain within that course to achieve that target. In 2019, as you have highlighted, the way we see it ourselves is that most of the clouds, which I would really call dense clouds, which we had in 2018, they are not as dense as they were, as we are seeing them now in 2019. We think we have lighter clouds. We do not expect major tariff adjustments in electricity, in water. We do not expect that global market prices, based on the futures oil market price, that it's going to go up. Rather, it's going to be moderated. But also, with a very good harvest, we may see maize prices coming down. So all the pressures that we were worried about in 2018 are not. The only issue maybe one would point out is elections. But if speaking to Honorable Kudogonde, the Minister of Finance and the rest of the team in the Ministry of Finance, they seem upbeat to ensure that they contain all fiscal pressures and inflationary pressures, even if we are passing through election. And therefore, looking ahead, the prospects, in my view, they are very, very good. And as we meet on 29th and 30th of January this year, as our first MPC meeting, we'll be able to review these conditions and take a monetary policy decision. I'm sure that should be favorable.
Remember, this is Business Time on Times Television, proudly brought to you by Skyband. Still to come, Malawi launches 3 digital platforms. We'll be right back in 60 seconds.
Relax. Here's how to connect. 1. Turn on your wireless card and connect to the Skyband hotspot. 2. Open your web browser and enter the login and 8-digit password exactly as it appears. 3. Now you can relax and surf the internet at any of our hotspots. Skyband.
Welcome back. Finance Minister Guro Gondwe on Monday launched the Microfinance Hub, National Switch and Malawi Stock Exchange automation. Gondwe said the launch of the platforms will help improve the financial sector in the country. More in this report.
Gondwe said the platforms would help transform financial services landscape in the country.
Things that I've just been saying there. First of all, it demonstrates that we can do it. There was a demonstration, for example, on MySwitch. We are the only country who can do it in Africa and in the world. that shows that we have the capability to do a number of innovative technologies, and it showed it there extremely clearly, and I was very pleased for it.
Reserve Bank of Malawi Governor Daiso Kabambe said the central bank is committed to ensuring that financial transactions are done with ease.
We have launched indeed 4 main products. The first product is that of the National Switch. The National Switch is like the mother platform, electronic platform, which connects the government through the Accountant General, the Malawi Revenue Authority, connecting them to the Reserve Bank of Malawi. And the Reserve Bank of Malawi is connected to all the commercial banks in the country, all microfinance institutions in the country, MFIs. Is also connected to shops where they have point-of-sale devices. Is also connected to mobile phones of individuals, individual handsets, where they have, let's say, TNM or Mpamba, Airtel Money, all those that are being connected to these various systems. The mother platform or digital electronic system that is at play is the National Switch. It has linked up all systems, all payment systems, settlement systems, trading systems, as well as transfer systems, both in the country and abroad. What it means is that for this product which we have launched today, as a matter of fact, Malawi is the first country in the world to have one national switch that connects every other payment system in the country into one system. So we are able to transact. Transactions from government can move straight to the private sector through the Reserve Bank and commercial banks. Transactions from individuals, including a mobile phone, can also run through the same system all the way to the commercial banks to which they are banked, to the Reserve Bank, and the payment to the endpoint payment side. Equally true if you have a plastic card, a credit card or debit card, you can transact on it within the country, abroad. So the National Switch is the mother system that connects all payment systems across the board. It is replacing cash. It is also replacing checks, which we used to do. We can now just do electronic transfers, payments through debit cards, through credit cards, through internet payments, through mobile payments, and through all other electronic transactions. In fact, as we speak now, as at December 2018, as much as 100 billion Malawi kwacha is transacted daily in all these platforms, either from government going to the Reserve Bank or Reserve Bank going to commercial banks, or MRI coming into payments through MRI into the government account number 1, or payment of salaries, or whatever payments. The transactions that are going in daily now, it's averaging around 100 billion kwacha daily, out of which in a month as much as 67 billion Malawi kwacha is transacted through mobile money services alone, but also there are large services, payments that are going through internet, as well as through foreign payment systems such as Cyrus for the SADC and other countries. So in all, when it comes to National Switch, it is a switch that is connecting everything to everybody, so that regardless of a bank, regardless of where your money is, it can move all over in just a little touch of a button. And that's a system which has revolutionized the way our payment attention system in the country is operating. But also we have launched today what is called a microfinance hub. The microfinance hub is a system which is connecting all MFIs in the country. You know that most banks are big, and they can afford these complicated and sophisticated systems which are expensive. But for most microfinance institutions are very, very small, and they cannot afford such sophisticated and complex systems and pay for them. The microfinance hub, it's like a house which has brought in the top level of sophistication in terms of systems that MFIs can use, equal those in the banks, and that they can only pay a small fee, be a member of that, and they can access all that and use it. What we will do is to ensure that the MFIs bring down their transactional costs, because they can able to use these sophisticated systems to keep their records properly, follow up their clients properly, and also reporting, do it very well, while at the same time at a very, very low cost. In return, we hope that they're going to pass on those savings to having low interest rates by microfinance borrowers. So again, that product, it's a very, very good product which has been launched today. But also today we have launched the automation, the central securities depository, as well as the automated trading system on the Malawi Stock Exchange. The Malawi Stock Exchange all along has been operating manual systems. People with the shares at the Malawi Stock Exchange, they had them in physical paper certificates. We have now what is called dematerialized all the shares. Now we are at 70% dematerialization of those shares. So much so that now we have electronic shares, and the trading that is now taking place at the Malawi Stock Exchange is as the same as you would have at London Stock Exchange, at New York Stock Exchange. The kind of sophistication, the kind of systems that are operating in those markets is exactly the kind of system that is now operating at the Malawi Stock Exchange. So we have achieved a status of a first world trading system at the Malawi Stock Exchange, courtesy of this new program which we have launched today, so that all the trading transactions and the record keeping, the custody of shares, all that now is done electronically. This has enabled that even the dealing, instead of being 1 hour like in the past, now is taking place for more than 5 hours. And you can do it anywhere at any point without necessarily going to the stock market itself. It has brought flexibility, easing, security, and everything you can mention when it comes to an automated market system of the stock exchange. So the 3 products that have been launched today really are very, very good systems that have completely revolutionized the payment architecture in the country.
For Times, in Blantyre, I'm Taonga Sabwa.
There's a revolution happening within business Wi-Fi hotspots all over the world. And now with Skyband, your business can be part of that revolution in Malawi. Introducing Skyband Social Wi-Fi. It allows your customers to instantly connect to your network with Facebook or Google to use free managed Wi-Fi at your venue. In doing so, your customers can help you promote your business to all their online friends. Contact Skyband today for your free out-of-the-box social Wi-Fi package and start offering your customers 50 megabytes of data for free daily. Or do amazing things with your Wi-Fi with Skyband Social Wi-Fi sponsored package. Provide free Wi-Fi and boost your business with Skyband Social Wi-Fi. Perfect for restaurants, bars, cafes, hotels, learning institutions, and more. Call 099 Skyband or 021 Skyband. T's and C's apply. Skyband, Malawi's leading internet service provider.
Proceeding with the program, let's look at how the Malawi kwacha is faring against major trading currencies on the foreign exchange market. Chibuku Products Limited, CPL, has said there are still 2 more millionaires to go in its Kumankui Pula promotion. CPL Managing Director Gerard Bowler was speaking in Blantyre on Friday when the beer maker presented 1 million kwacha to Mzuzu-based winner Ruben Moloko. Bowler said though the promotion closed last week, there are still many prizes to be won. CPL Brands Manager Fiona Nyambo said the firm is impressed with how the promotion is progressing.
Well, the promotion has been an excellence from where I'm seated. We started this promotion in December, on the 1st of December 2018, and we wrap up the promotion on the 15th of January. So from where I am, I would say this promotion has been an excitement to our consumers. We've seen people walking away with a lot of prizes that we have given. For example, you've just witnessed the handing out of a 1 million and a generator in this promotion. From Chibuku, we have been silent for long. So we thought people thought we are gone. So we wanted people to know we still exist, and that's why we decided we bring a promotion that will excite our consumers. Well, what we had done, this was an instant promotion, like I had explained in an earlier interview, that we had prices that were under the bottle top. So we have splashed the prices there on the market. So because there are still more to be won, we are inviting consumers to come and redeem prices until the 31st of January, because we do not want to keep them. Absolutely. They should expect more promotions and more happy times with Chibuku.
On that note, we've come to the end of Business Time right here on Times. Until next week, I am Sharon Jirwa. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense.